Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Destiny 2 on the PC. I've been waiting quite a while for a Bungie game to make a reappearance on the PC platform, and although it's a little bit late compared to the console releases of the game, it's still coming. This is the first time I've been able to play Destiny 2 on my home PC without it being in a closed environment on some sort of monster computer that's specifically set up to run the game perfectly, and I gotta say that the performance is absolutely stellar. I was able to get easily around 100 frames per second in multiplayer and single player, and I was running the game on mostly high settings at 1440p resolution with a 144 Hz monitor. The game looked great, the mouse input felt pretty darn good overall, despite the fact that I had to play it in windowed mode just to record the gameplay. Now, of course, the big question here is whether or not Destiny 2 is going to be a mediocre PC port. And I gotta say, when it comes to visual settings and preferences and customization features, it's got all of the great PC features that I would want. I can adjust my ADS sensitivity versus my hipfire sensitivity. I can adjust my field of view. It supports 1440 Hz monitors. It supports resolutions up to 4K. I mean, it's got all the features that I could ever want in a first-person shooter. For customization, it's really great. It's got all that and more. Now, there are a few downsides, of course, not huge downsides, but without question, the user interface is still the console user interface that's just sort of been translated for PC. You still have to do weird things like holding down buttons on your keyboard to open up certain menus, or like holding O to go to orbit and stuff like that. Things that don't feel quite at place in a PC environment, a little bit less efficient than they could be. Not a huge downside, and given the fact that they would have had to redesign the UI completely to bring it over to the PC, I feel like that might have brought its own set of issues with it, and so I'm not really holding this against Destiny 2 too much, as it is first and foremost a console game, so if you're going to design the UI around one platform, it may as well be the console. Now, once you fire up the beta, you'll notice you have access to two different multiplayer modes. One's a standard domination style multiplayer mode that the Destiny 1 had, and then they've also kind of stuck a Counter-Strike style game mode into Destiny multiplayer. For single player, you have your character unlock mission, which is over-the-top cinematic, crazy set pieces, a lot of fun, the kind of stuff you would expect from Destiny 1 single player, if not a bit more intense or more visually stunning, which is really great. And then they also have a strike, which you can run with friends, and that is also a lot of fun. The set pieces and the voice acting and the music and all that stuff is AAA production quality. If you enjoyed the Destiny 1 single player and missions and strikes, I'm sure you will enjoy the Destiny 2 stuff. In fact, if I had to knock the beta for anything, it would just simply be a lack of content, wanting to explore the world more. And if a beta leaves you with a longing to want to play the game more, then I would say it's done its job in terms of piquing your interest as a gamer. I'm very, very excited for the PvE content. I really enjoyed the PvE content in Destiny 1, despite not having the most engaging endgame stuff to do. I really enjoyed running through it the first time through and doing a few more runs after that. It was definitely fun, and I hear that Destiny is really working on trying to make the endgame content significantly more entertaining this time around. So if it's just like Destiny 1 but better, I'm definitely excited for the PvE content. It looks absolutely excellent so far. As for PvP content, we got a very, very limited dose of what it's going to be like, again with the one domination map and the one CSGO map. I predominantly played the domination style game mode, and it was okay. Destiny has always kind of felt like it's shoehorned a multiplayer mode into a single player game, and it still feels like that with Destiny 2. A lot of the weapons and abilities are really effective in PvE mode, but maybe not so good for PvP mode, and these are things you kind of have to learn along the way. You might be using a weapon and just getting wrecked by your opponents because guess what? That gun's not very good at killing other players really quickly. It might be decent in PvE, but you're not going to get much work done in PvP. So there's a bit of a learning curve in terms of figuring out which weapons are good for which mode. In addition to that, it did make me consider how effective the multiplayer is going to be on the PC platform versus the console platform. Right now, PC is extremely competitive for really good multiplayer shooters. There's lots of options out there, and if you got some time to play some multiplayer with friends, Destiny 2 really might not be the top candidate right now. It's got some fun old school shooter mechanics to it. In many ways it feels like Halo, but with sort of supers that can dominate people at certain times during the match. But it's not really bringing anything maybe new or exciting. Now, there is also something else I noticed while playing. Everybody's been very interested in the Destiny 2 netcode. Is it going to be better than the Destiny 1 netcode, which was notoriously awful? Melee trade kills all the time, just laggy things occurring. How was it going to fare on PC? Well, I gotta say, in general, it felt a bit better, but there were some weird things going on, some things that I think will definitely keep it from being a serious competitive shooter. One of them that I'm having a hard time putting my finger on is something that appears to be sticky aim for PC. Shots that I miss that are actually hitting my opponents. And slowing down my clips here, I was able to find just within one game here, this happened in every single game I played, but all these clips are just from one single match, multiple times of me missing my opponents, yet the game registering it as a hit. Now, I had to take into account that the pistol I'm using has an explosive effect on it, which means that I can do splash damage if I hit the ground or wall near somebody. But a lot of these hits that I'm missing, usually wasn't a surface directly behind my opponent. So there really isn't much accounting for these misses. Even some misses in which I see the shot clearly miss my opponent, but it gives me the hit marker instead. So either this is netcode, it's sticky aim, it's giant hitboxes that I can't see. Something weird is going on here, and it doesn't feel right. It does feel a lot like Destiny 1 shooter mechanics, which I was hoping they would resolve or at least change for the PC platform. Auto aim is kind of standard and expected on many console games these days, but on PC it's kind of blasphemy, and so getting hit markers for shots that you clearly miss is just not okay in the PC player handbook. Maybe this is intentional and that Bungie wanted to do this because the speed of Destiny is quick enough that it would be really hard for average players to hit some of these fast moving shots, and they didn't want the skill curve to be that high. But it's kind of unfortunate. It doesn't have a good feeling to it when I play it. And it's going to lower the skill curve if people are hitting lots of shots that they're normally missing. It means that anybody can pick up the powerful hand cannon and nail all their headshots or whatever and just dominate. Whereas before, that should have been a weapon that only the highly skilled players would dare to use because it requires a lot of precision and accuracy to be effective with. It's not going to make a bad player good. It just makes the multiplayer feel inconsistent or weird, or you're thinking like, I swear I missed that shot, but it gave me the kill anyway. I certainly don't like the idea of my enemies killing me with shots that they're actually missing, so hopefully this is something that could be remedied down the line, but again, it feels very much like Destiny 1, and if Bungie hasn't made any changes to it since the original Destiny came out, I can't imagine that they're going to make changes to it at this point now. So for me, this kind of solidifies the Destiny 2 multiplayer as more of a topical addition to Destiny 2, and that it'll be fun, a nice little time waster, but something that I probably won't want to take too seriously. I could go back on my words. Maybe there's a lot of interesting meta that I haven't explored that will unlock with further class progression and new weapon progression in different game modes. But again, we've seen such a limited version of the final product right now, it's really hard to make that kind of prediction. So regardless of some of the unfortunate findings of Destiny 2 multiplayer, I'll say that the single player so far, or the campaign rather, looks like it's really shaping up to be a lot of fun. I just love the cinematic aspect, the art direction, the graphics are great, and it does feel good on PC when it comes to actual performance. There doesn't appear to be any sort of input lag. The mouse seems to feel all right, despite certain shots registering when you might have missed. That probably won't affect the PvE element too greatly. I'm definitely excited for the full release on PC. As far as looter shooters go, this is definitely one of the better ones. It's got that full AAA budget, excellent production value. It's going to be a really fun experience from start to end, at least I'm predicting it will be. Anyway, that kind of wraps it up for my Destiny PC beta overview. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think so far if you've gotten into the beta. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.